actually just got out of the shower.
No, she didn't. Look at that dandruff.
And I wasn't going to do this. This was not going to be
No, that's
something
gray
that I was
hair.
going to do. And now
Well, I don't know if that... Actually, that could have been gray hair. But I still don't believe she got out of the shower.
that I have like a whole YouTube schedule going, I don't know where this would fit in my schedule. And I want to get this out like now. So I don't normally do reactions to reaction channels, but I feel like I'm done like zipping my lip, you know? And when it comes to this topic, it's near and dear to me, obviously. I had cancer. It was traumatizing. I genuinely thought I was gonna die. I had to do invasive surgery at over 500 pounds because of my cancer.
And yet, you are still 500 pounds. You didn't think to... Ugh.
So for another YouTuber to create a nickname, Raglan Bleed, while already they're hypocritical, they're biased, I have made it very clear on my Instagram that
It's okay that she's biased. I don't think that there has to be gray areas when you're a shitty person. There would be one thing if you had redeeming qualities, but you don't have many.
that is fucked up. I've also made it very clear during public live streams and during my members only live streams. And this YouTuber just keeps going back and forth with me, trying to like twist the narrative of why they, named me Raglan Bleed when it's very obvious why they did it. And they're trying so hard to like turn it into like an okay nickname. So my friend sent me this message that you are seeing here. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to react to this first 5 minutes because I want to know what they say. So let's do it. I want to be able to respond. By the way, this YouTuber does not show their face because they're too scared. So all you need to hear is their voice. Let's do it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. And before we get started today, play the same thing. She was, in my opinion, very manic. She was crying.
Okay, so mental health shaming.
1 second, laughing, the next second acting very just above it all. While
I'm telling you, my moods genuinely are bouncing back and forth. Like 1 minute I am crying, 1 minute I'm laughing, 1 minute I'm doing both at the same time. 1 minute I feel despair, 1 minute I feel hopeful. It is what it is.
Okay, if you have that much erratic emotions so quickly, you probably should check yourself in or speak with a crisis line because that's not normal. And if you're not doing anything about it besides just making excuses for it, it doesn't sound like you want to fix it.
That's where I'm currently at right now with my mental health.
still did the stream because she kind of wanted to get the attention off of Beck and Destiny's video from...
Definitely not. Beck and Destiny's video genuinely sucked. Like, okay, screenshots from 9 years ago. I'm sorry I was hurt. I'm sorry I was desperate for attention.
Earlier yesterday, she wanted to make everybody talk about her and what happened in the live stream, but honestly, like I said, it was just a repeat of the other night. Nothing really...
And yet you watched it, didn't you?
...new came out of the stream, and I don't think I'm going to cover it because...
Wait a second. Wait a second. Even if... Hold on. Did I miss something? Because I did this. Let's talk about these screenshots. Why did you cut off who sent you it and the date? At least show when they sent you this, so it makes us feel like these could have been fabricated at any time. So if you want to talk about timing, when were these sent? Were they sent yesterday? Were they sent 2 minutes ago? I mean, there's things that at least Beck and Destiny showed were, like I said, receipts that you don't have any.
That you are seeing here.
Watching it, nothing really stood out to me. She was mostly just reading the nice comments people were leaving.
I think I know why they're actually talking about this, because in that live stream, I straight up asked Salty Crab a question, and I think they might be answering it right now. So I'm actually glad that I'm reacting to this, so let's hear the answer.
She was ranting about everybody who she doesn't like, crying over like, girl, we saw it all before, and it was more entertaining in the member stream. But I do want to address one thing, and like I said before, I'm not going to do a back and forth with Amberlynn.
But yet you are.
There's really no point to it. There's nothing.
But yet you are.
I can say that's going to make her just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize.
Because you're not.
Hold on. Or just all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I apologize to anyone.
Honey buns, why would I apologize to you? Like, there's nothing to apologize to you for.
She's gonna think she's right about everything until the end of...
I'm not right about everything at all.
...time. Even the things that she admits she did wrong, she has a reason for or an excuse, and it's usually blaming some...
I bet you're not perfect at all. I bet you made your fair share of mistakes. So it's like these people who want to like point their finger and be like, you're not perfect. Well, bro, you have several fingers pointed back at you because neither are you.
Someone else or her BPD, but she did...
Oh, do you hear the mocking of her BPD? More mental health shaming. Like...
BPD, the BPD.
When does it end?
Ask me personally to tell her.
It ends when you get your shit together. That's when it ends. Smug Lynn. Look at her, so smug. For what, Porky the Pig?
Why, in my video from almost a week ago, Amber, like you're still going on about it, but...
And you still go on about things that happened years and years ago just because you need something to talk about because your whole channel is monetized based on talking about me. So yeah, I'm going to talk about something that happened a week ago that genuinely hurt my feelings and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, making a joke out of my cancer is not okay.
She wanted me to talk about or tell her why I called that character Raglan Bleed. Why did I use the word bleed? First of all, it was a stupid joke.
It's not a stupid joke. So if you say something that offends someone and it genuinely hurts their feelings, you apologize, right? Isn't that what you're trying to teach your audience, supposedly? Do it then. Or do you have too much ego, too much pride? afraid the audience is gonna get mad at you.
Eh,
This is a silly joke.
we're just getting off to this.
I wanted a word that
Not a silly joke.
rhymed with your last name, so I used the word.
There's a lot of words that rhyme with read. I mean, I can think of one right now. Feed. That'd be a lot more funnier than bleed.
But then you'd be like, oh, you just call me a fat joke. Because I say Amberlynn greed would be something like greedy or just the greed thing itself because you know, are a greedy bitch. Like, who else steals their ex-partner's inheritance and kind of just strongholds the bank account that they didn't own? It sounds pretty greedy to me. Amberlynn greed.
Bleed. But also, the joke was not about your cancer. As
Yes, it was.
much as you try and say that it was, what it was really about was your laziness. The fact that you made the choice to not seek medical treatment when you knew that you should.
So, first of all, one of the very first things that I did when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I was told to do this, was join forums of other people who have the same cancer as me. And in doing that, I realized we all had one thing in common. 95% of us waited and waited and waited. We had these symptoms and we just waited months, or some of us waited years. Some people waited even longer than me to see a gynecologist. And there is multiple reasons for that: fear, embarrassment, feeling ashamed, anxiety. Some of us then begin to believe, like, okay, maybe actually these symptoms are normal, or actually it's really not that big.
Okay, so I had a rant because I thought she was talking about BPD, and then I rescinded it because it was about cancer. But no, it kind of sounds like the same thing that I was saying. I don't think. Well, I was thinking of a counselor who told her to go to support forums, but the support forums kind of did what I think the same thing I would expect if you just randomly went to like a random forum, support forum for like BPD or even like for an eating disorder. It's going to be people that are kind of there. No one's a professional there, so it's just this group mediation. So they're just like the thing that she said. A lot of people were waiting or they had fear, and then they put it off. So instead of having a professional or going to a professional to look at it, just nip it in the bud, you had these people just kind of calling each other with support. And what I used that I cut out was if, say, someone who has anorexia, they decided that they wanted to go to a support group, but not going to a support group, they went to a support forum. Now they put themselves into a place where there is no professional mediation. It's just a bunch of people supporting each other. So then it could honestly become a inspiration forum. So it's people that are like, "Oh, I haven't eaten in 2 days, but I don't feel bad. I've been walking around and finding things like that." They were like, "Okay, yeah, I don't eat for days sometimes too, and I'd be fine. Like, you don't have to eat if you don't need to, or you don't feel like it, or something like that." So it's a space that can become very negative. So I don't think that the support forum. So that's why I'm like, I thought she said a counselor, but if your doctor said that, I don't know. I don't feel like that was real. Because a counselor or a therapist would never tell someone who has a mental disorder to go to a support forum to work on it, because there's no professional mediation in that space. So instead of being in a support group, they become an enabling group.
Big of a deal. I did go to the doctor. I actually went to the ER a few times, and every single time I went, they told me I had all this blood and I had the pain in my back, and it was due to a UTI or it was due to a bladder infection and all of these things, but that wasn't the case. Should I have gone to a gynecologist sooner? Sure.
Did you go to the ER, or did you actually go to see a physician or anything like that? Because yes, you should have went to a gynecologist firsthand. That should have been your first thing. It's happening something going on with that. If I had a growing pain or something like that, I'd go get a physical or something. I wouldn't go to the ER or just a hospital and say my growing hurts. They're like, oh, okay, well maybe put some ice on or something to try to alleviate it. They're not gonna know. They're not specialists.
Does that make me lazy? Fuck no. Does that
Yes, it does.
make anyone else who has also had uterine cancer and they
If they're in that group and they let themselves get to that point, yes, because it does take a lot of work to go to the hospital, and no, it really doesn't. I know it's a lot of money and it could be a lot of time spent, but it really doesn't take that much to get into a car or something and march your ass into, or even calling around and trying to schedule something. But you were very complacent in it. You guys were all just sitting and waiting. I thought you were waiting to see someone, but no, you guys were sitting waiting in your own waste.
waited a really long time to be seen until they were diagnosed, does that make them lazy? No. Do they deserve that?
Yes, if they were on a waiting list, no, of course not, because they're on a waiting list. But now it sounds like they were not waiting. They were being complacent in their dysfunctions of their of their body.
to have a nickname like that? No.
Because you knew that, oh well, someone else will just come and clean up this mess for me.
Clean up this mess?
And when I say that you expected everyone to clean things up around you, you know exactly what I mean.
If you're talking about my blood, I made sure that that was nowhere. There was blood nowhere. Did you guys ever remember that mattress that was out in the living room? That was one of the reasons it was in.
Ew. You had a giant ass maxi pad in the living room, basically. That's so disgusting. I'd be so mad if I lived with you. I would have kicked you out. But I guess you were really helping out with the bills because that is fucking gross.
Living room because I was scared to get blood anywhere. I never got it anywhere. If I wasn't wearing a pad,
I'd be scared to be bleeding into a mattress. That's so gross. I don't even know what type of pest can happen if that's so gross. Like you get some fucking vampire termites.
I was wearing a rag. I was very anal about that because it was embarrassing. Like I was always bleeding. Sometimes it was heavier than other times, but it was genuinely an awful experience and it was very embarrassing. I never made
That's
it back to
crazy.
it. Who else was there? Oh, are you talking about my roommates because I had roommates? Hell no, they're so embarrassing. That was 2 guys. Like, are you joking?
You were embarrassed to bleed on a mattress, but you continue to bleed on a mattress. Look at how crazy you look. And you sound crazy.
I handled all of that by myself. Just because I was having all these symptoms, it didn't make me a selfish or disrespectful person. I wasn't gonna sit there and make a mess. Like what? The fact that you're even insinuating that is hectic. And that's for lack of a better word.
The fact that you're trying to even make this into something normal is hectic. The fact that you're getting so mad that someone finds the error that you sat in blood in a mattress for years. And you're mad and saying, well, at least I cleaned it up. You didn't clean a lot of other things, though. You didn't clean, not even just your body, you didn't help clean up that much either. Whatever you could reach when you sit around, and then Beck did the rest, or anyone else did the rest. So no, so good, congratulations, Amber. You cleaned up your own fucking mess. Good for you, Amber. Yay!
One who said you had to use rags instead of using feminine products. But who washed those rags, Amber? Who
Me. What?
changed those rags, Amber?
Me? What is happening? So you call me Raglan Reid because you're assuming that Beck washed my rags. I genuinely think this person needs help. Like more help than me. Like
Girl, I genuinely think you need help, like more than everyone on the internet that's making as much money as you.
I admit I need help, but so do you. What?
Amber, who probably had to scrub those rags out in the
No one scrubbed a rag in a sink because of my cancer symptoms. That never happened.
sink, Amber. Bet it wasn't you, and you were just fine with
It was nobody.
them having to do it day after day,
It was nobody.
week after week, month after month, year after year. You intentionally did not go to the doctor
I didn't intentionally not go to the doctor.
for that.
And what's this waiting? This is waiting for. I'm waiting for the right moment. I'm waiting for like my whole uterus to fall out. What were you waiting for? Like, were you just waiting for just like a whole embryo to come out of you before you're like, oh, I think the bleeding has gone. It's reached its course, or waiting for like a fat to come out. Like, what were you waiting for?
When other times you would go to the ER for cellulitis.
Yes, because cellulitis is an infection that if it gets in your blood, you can die. So yeah.
Girl, you do know that cancer is a malignant tumor that could kill you too. So it's like an infection. So what are you talking about? You want to tit for tat? You got cancer.
Yeah, I did go to the ER for that. So I can be on antibiotics because that's the only way that cellulitis can go away. Oh, I'm sorry.
Or the time that you needed stitches in your hand.
Yes, I literally still have that scar. But
Girl, I've sliced my finger open in half. I should have gotten stitches, but I didn't, and I'm still fine. But that was your hand, and also it's your dick hand. So, or I mean your dominant hand. Jesus Christ.
but yes, I needed stitches. I'm sorry. I stabbed myself in the hand with a knife.
This wasn't a case where you had a fear of the doctor.
Actually, so was mine. My pinky was meant for my dominant hand. It's my pinky, so you could just sever the whole fucker off. It don't matter.
This is genuinely like you invalidating my experience, but you know what? I don't expect anything less than anything more from you.
What experience are we invalidating? The experience of you bleeding in mattresses? Is that the invalidating? I got really confused with that one. That's why I had to slow the time down because I was like, maybe I had this going too fast. where I'm missing some things, but I don't know.
No problems going to the ER.
I'm
But
losing.
in this situation, you decided to ignore it. You even admitted that you took an online quiz to see what was wrong rather than seeing a doctor. And
She's like, yeah, I did. Yes, I did. And what? You gonna say anything about that?
even then, when the quiz told you what was probably wrong, it still took you another month before
Her face listened to it. She's like,
you went to the doctor.
Yeah, out of fear. And I also kept lying to
out of fear, girl. You were bleeding for so long. When, like, I'm so confused. Like, I don't have periods, but if I was a woman having and had a period lasting longer than it should, which I think if you have a period lasting longer than a month, you should see someone. And she had this thing going, just free bleeding. That's crazy. How are you not dead?
myself because my whole life, like even in high school, I had irregular periods. Doctors always told me it was because of my weight. Like when you're really overweight and when you're really underweight, your
And then this did not think. She's like, I'm bleeding so much. I need to lose weight. She's like, no, I'm just going to sit on this mattress. She didn't even think to, like, who knows, man?
periods are very irregular. So I did keep lying to myself. I was like, this is happening because of your weight. So the more I lied to myself, the more I
Okay, so again, you're proving salty crab right. You're just using different words.
made it seem like, oh, it's just because of my weight. So it still doesn't give you the right to make fun of the situation.
And when you did finally go to the doctor, you took pictures of your underwear and the crotch of your pants.
I did.
She sounds so disgusted. She must have seen them. I did.
Actually, it was Beck who took those pictures. We were absolutely shocked with how much blood I was losing. Like, I was losing so much blood, and that was only the beginning of it. Like, the pictures that
Wait, was this the accusation that Beck posted her ex's dirty underwear online?
we did take, because then it got worse and worse. At that point, I was having to be rushed into an emergency DNC.
It's so funny how she's trying to explain, like trying to like defend this madness. It's
I was losing so much blood that, like, I could have died. But yes, Beck had their phone, and they were taking pictures because it was genuinely so shocking. And I remember Beck was texting my mom and like keeping my mom updated. And during that, Beck sent those photos to my mom because it's like when you're sitting there and you're like,
oh, so it's Beck's fault. It's Beck's fault.
yeah, Amberlynn is like gushing blood. You know, you imagine something, but you don't imagine like how bad it actually was.
And the floor and all the blood everywhere, and you put them on Snapchat for your viewers to see.
Yes, I did put them on Snap. Bad it actually was.
Wait a second.
And the floor.
She said the floor. Didn't Amber just say it didn't bleed on the floor earlier?
And all the blood everywhere, and you put them on Snapchat for your viewers to see.
Yes, I did put them on Snapchat. So this was during the time where I was like, I cannot believe that people think I am lying about cancer. And it was quite a few people. Like when Nikocado Avocado uploaded that video insinuating that I lied about cancer, like I was being harassed more than ever. And like it made my mental health so bad. I ended up filming a whole video, like bawling my eyes out. Like I showed my actual medical paperwork, which was really embarrassing.
Funny story. Before I went to the Cookie Tookie videos, I was actually thinking of doing Amber, but I chose against it because she had. This was like right around the time when she announced that she had cancer. So I was like, oh, let's take her off. Because I genuinely believe she did have. When she said she had cancer, I believed it. Because people don't lie about those things. I mean, like, I'm sure there are some pretty disgusting people who would, but I don't know. It didn't seem like a lie at the time. So I never was on board with people thinking that she made it up. Like, why would she make it? Like, I would never think that Amber would get that. Well, she's done some shit. So, but the cancer thing, no.
And in that same like impulsive state of mind, I ended up posting those pictures on Snapchat as a way to be like, I did go through this. This is exactly what happened to me.
The free bleeding. Okay, so if the free bleeding is proof that, oh, I got cancer, then why didn't you go see someone when you were free bleeding?
Do I regret doing that? No. But it is very
Ooh,
pathetic that I
okay.
even had to do that, that it actually
It is.
got to that.
You're blaming people for you having to show your dirty underwear because you let your health get so bad that you're free bleeding, but you want to blame other people because you lie all the time. So there was there was some group of people who believed that you didn't have it. Okay, if that's the hill you want to die on.
Level that I had to show something so private, it honestly feels demeaning. And this person
It's so raw, you guys.
right here is like making fun of me because I did that. That's really, really sad.
She's not making fun of you. She's shaming you because you've got to that point and you're disgusting.
See, but you have a problem with me making a silly joke using the word bleed?
They don't have anything to do with each other.
Really, Amber? It's also come out that
She's such a
you
bitch.
ruin people's
I can't stand
personal
you.
items
Because what?
because of the bleeding.
I never ruined anyone's personal items because of the bleeding. Nothing. At all. Zero. Zippo. Nada.
You made your ex drag a mattress in and out of the living room for you to sit on it so you wouldn't make a mess.
Ew.
That is actually the truth. I would have done it for Beck. When you're in a relationship and you
I really hope that Beck would be smart enough to think, oh no, I'm actually going to see a gynecologist or someone. I'm not going to have you haul a mattress around so I can sit on it like an idiot and bleed on it like a baby, like a giant ass baby.
think that you love the person, it's supposed to be a safe, comforting, caring environment. Think for 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure you would have dragged the mattress into the living room as well if you wanted to hang out with your partner and you knew what they were experiencing.
No, I told this asshole to get her ass up bed and go to the hospital. We're gonna get this shit taken care of. We're gonna figure it out. We're not gonna have you free bleed to the point where you need to sit in a mattress to catch it. That's insane. And she's still trying to defend it.
I think when people imagine my bleeding, I think they're imagining like Carrie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie.
No, we're not imagining that. We're not idiots. We're not imagining it just drenched and you being soaked into a mattress and you gotta squeeze the mattress out in a few hours. It's just the fact that you have to sit on a mattress to catch your free blood is the disgusting part.
It wasn't like that until I was rushed to the ER. Then it was very
Again, Amber trying to defend the madness.
much like that. But on an everyday basis, it wasn't like that. I did not get blood anywhere. So let me keep hearing
So, you got it on the mattress though, right?
why you're making fun of my cancer. Let's keep going with your excuse because still, I don't get it.
And did you do anything about that? Did you try and get it looked at for at least 2 years?
Like I said, I went to the ER for it and I went to the doctor and
The ER does dipshit, you dipshit.
they sent me
Oh
home with a
god.
UTI and
That's what they do. They're an emergency room. They don't specialize on anything. They just they're there to wrap bandages up and send you on your way. They saw you, they're like, and you probably like, oh yeah, this free bleeding, I do that, and they're like, oh, okay, well here's some antibiotics. Maybe there's an infection, trying to get out of antibiotics. Maybe some Percocets or something, whatever. If you're feeling bad, but Amber, you did not go to a specialist, someone who understands and what that could be. You went to someone who knows how to patch up wounds. Not saying that the ER people don't know what they're doing, but they are there specializing for emergencies and fixing those emergencies, immediate emergencies that just happen, like accidents that on the spot type of thing. Not someone who has pre-existing bleeding going on. That's someone that you need to actually have a primary care physician. At your age, you're 30 years old. I'm 30. I get an annual physical because I'm 30, and we get old, and we got to make sure that shit's still normal. You need to have one yourself, you dumbass, and also you have cellulitis and all this other shit. Why don't you have a primary care physician? This doctor that you saw, probably someone that just some random one-off doctor in your hospital.
antibiotics.
No, because you thought, well, someone else will clean it up. I don't feel like
No one cleaned up anything. There was nothing to clean up.
going.
Ooh,
And somehow
she's
that's
feisty.
my fault for using a word, for saying the word bleed.
You are so dense if you actually think that I'm upset.
I'm so sick. I hate when she tries to call people stupid because you're such a dumbass bitch yourself. I hate when stupid people try to call people stupid. Like, you are so dumb that you don't understand where people are getting at, and you get mad at it.
Because you used a word. You're making fun of me. You're making fun of an experience that altered my whole life.
Really? And before you
It didn't alter your whole life. You're still fat as shit, still doing the same shit you used to do before the Raglan thing. You're not, except now you're not sitting on a mattress. So is that the thing that drastically changed your whole life? That now you don't have to sit on mattresses? Because I don't see any difference from before when that happened to now. I don't even see anything drastically changed when you told people that you were diagnosed with cancer. You still look the same.
fix your mouth to call me an ableist again
You are.
and try and say that your medical issues were due to your size,
They are.
you sure had no problem getting to Lexington 20.
What? During that
Got her. She was like, wait, stupid bitch.
era of my life, I went to Lexington maybe once. I'm finding it hard to understand like what that has to do with you making fun of my cancer. Like you're reaching
Ooh, no, you're just so stupid. It's just passed over your big ass head. I don't know how. Well, because you're short, but shit.
so far that I am in fear you're going to pull a muscle. So calm down, please.
7
Huh?
times to go to the Cheesecake Factory. So how is there a problem getting to the doctor? Maybe if the gynecologist would have served orange chicken, you would have gotten checked out sooner. But
There it is. You're
Ah, there it is. You called me fat, you bitch.
ableist, girl. Just admit it. You're fat phobic. You're biased. You lack empathy.
See, that's why she couldn't say Amberlynn Feed, because you would have said this shit. You just wouldn't have been this. You would have just been like, you're talking about me being fat. You're fat phobic, and I had an issue. Nah, nah, nah. You reached for.
And sympathy, and you can't admit when you're wrong.
that's all you're getting from me, Amber.
What a
Rules
cunt,
for
thank
me,
God.
but not for thee.
Fuck you, bitch.